Okay, so I'm back, and there is actually a reason why I took so long getting back into making videos. So Christmas was great. I had a lovely time at Christmas, just enjoying time with family, playing music, and just having some proper chill time off of work. It worked out really well. On my birthday, I realised that I had extra holidays, and my boss was like, yeah, you can take them. So that made such a difference. That was really, really nice. Christmas Day was great. We got to see all the family. Boxing Day was just quiet. It was just me and Marge and Peanut, who is my mum and dad's dog. And it was really nice to just spend some time just chilling with the dogs, watching TV, watching films, playing video games. Then the dreaded December 27th came by. And that was when I realised something wasn't quite right. I woke up to really bad abdomen pain. It's like some stabbing going on, really uncomfortable. To the point where I was actually being sick. Now, I've got a really high pain threshold, so for me to feel that poorly, something was really not right. So I jumped on call with a friend of mine, just saying, look, I was planning to play games with you, but I'm just not very well. And he is a legend. He said to me, really, you should call 111, which is our kind of non-emergency line for the ambulance. Me with a high pain threshold was like, no, I'm just feeling sick. I've just got stomach aches and it's trapped gas and it's just, throwing up from being uncomfortable and maybe it's just a sickness bug. Maybe I didn't eat a massive amount on Christmas Day, so I couldn't quite work out where I was feeling so poorly. It then got to the point where I was in bed for hours just in absolute agony. And that was something that actually for me was really scary. I realised that because I live on my own, I have no one to kind of look after me. So no one's there to go, you're all right, or can I get you something, or get a grip? I've not got that. Other than from Marge, who did not cope well with me being poorly at all. Which was really, really sad. She was really upset and she was getting really quite distressed. But because I realised, because I live on my own, there's no way that I have anyone to help me in a scenario like that. So I found that really scary. And when you're feeling that poorly, to realise that there's no one there to help you, that's frightening. And that was kind of a real shock to the system for me. Obviously, I've got amazing family and friends. They all jumped in as soon as they realised I was unwell. But just that initial time where I realised this is down to me now to figure out what's going on. Do I need to go to hospital? Do I not? I can't move, so I couldn't move to do anything at all. Luckily, Gemma, who is my brother's girlfriend, she's amazing, and thank you, Gemma, so much for coming to look after me. She popped round. I'd rung my parents, I'd rung 111, and they'd said, we'll get in touch with you and there'll be a doctor on the phone in the next hour. They then sent for an ambulance. So whilst I was waiting for this ambulance, Gemma went up to the shop to get me some ice because I couldn't keep down any water or any fluids. She was just amazing. She just sat on the bed and talked at me so that I had something to listen to, something to focus on, but I didn't have to focus on responding. She was just an absolute saviour, so I owe her flowers and chocolates. So then my dad arrived. Now, I love my dad. I was told by the person on the phone, because I live on my own, I cannot have Marge out and about. The problem is I couldn't move. I was so ill, I literally couldn't move. So I rang Jem to say, look, can you come and look after Marge? There, she's talking there. I said to Jem, can you come and move Marge and just lock her in a room with you? So she's not on her own. I literally can't get out of bed. I'm so unwell. I'll throw up, I'll pass out, whatever. So something's really wrong. My dad turns up with another dog. So he turns up with Peanut, their dog. So I'm like, I needed someone to take the dogs away, not bring another dog. So there was now 2 dogs in the house. Bless him, he wasn't told that was the case. And he did tell me that when I was in the hospital. Spoiler alert. So then the ambulance crew turn up, along with my mother. They were just incredible. They were just wonderful, wonderful people. They were very calm, very collected. She talked me through what she thought it might be, but she gave me pain relief. I had gas and air, which I've never had before, but that was fun. That was definitely an experience, to say the least. And once we arrived at the hospital, they were amazing. We went to Hereford Hospital. I've never been there before. I've always gone to a different hospital. So we went over there. They were just incredibly caring. You felt cared for. You felt like they were in control, and that they were doing everything they could to make sure you were seen as quickly as possible. They weren't sure what it was, but this one doctor just took me aside, and to be fair, it really hurt when he did this, but he just pressed on my abdomen and he was like, right, I think I know what this is. It's your appendix. Now, I've heard stories about appendix. That can be dangerous. So I'm really glad that my friend online said, look, speak to the doctor, speak to the hospital, because there's something really wrong. You're never this ill, and you sound really unwell. So please contact him. So shout out to you. Thank you. I've never actually been on a ward in a hospital or stayed in overnight. I'm someone that if I get ill, I get ill and then I just crack on. If I don't crack on, I have a day or so off and then I'm back in. I've never been ill. So this really was something different. Like, I've had really bad back pain where we thought it was something really serious. I've never been hospitalized. That was a really frightening experience, but also I'm so grateful to the hospital. They were absolutely amazing. And actually, I don't want anyone to think that this is me taking the mick out of it, but I felt like I was on holiday. It's the first time that I've sort of sat there and nothing was my responsibility, other than just exist and do as you're told. It was just amazing. And so I just sat and read my book. So I finished my Stephen King book, The Shining. Cracking book, by the way. But I just finished that book and then had another one on order. That arrived, I started reading that. It was just amazing to sit there and just process and actually recover, because I never usually give myself time to recover properly. Wanting to make sure that I'm actually putting the time in, because that time in the hospital, really, I had no choice. I either went home and left the hospital, which would have been a really stupid thing to do, or I just let it happen, and just let that time happen and get better. So what happened next was I was taken into surgery to remove the appendix. They did try with antibiotics, but that didn't work, so they took it out, and I'm now recovering from surgery. Surgery is a weird one. It actually doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would. When you're that unwell, that was the worst pain ever. When I had the surgery, that was still very uncomfortable and very painful, but I was obviously asleep for it, but the recovery has been a lot easier. It's a lot less painful. They've done an amazing job. You can hardly notice that they did surgery. So I'm just so grateful to the doctors and the hospital for looking after me and getting me back on my feet. I always thought living on my own, I would just plod along, crack on with my life. There's no one to tell me what I need to do or don't do. I just crack on. I've got quite a good work ethic, so I enjoy working and enjoy doing that, and I do 2 jobs. So I have no issues on that side of things. However, when something goes wrong, realizing that you are on your own is a frightening thing. And I've definitely started putting plans in place. Like, I've got emergency contacts now on my phone, that if I was unconscious, people can get through on my phone without knowing the password and actually contact people to help me. And I think it's going to be really interesting if I'm doing these wellbeing videos and things like that, which I do really enjoy doing. Finding ways of getting back into routine after something like this, I'll be honest, I'm really struggling. That's something I'm completely out of routine. I did my first day working in the school teaching vocals, and that was an amazing experience. They've got some incredibly talented people in that school, but the fear of not waking up in time, all of that kind of thing, my body clock isn't quite where I want it to be. I've spent a lot of time just recovering, which is absolutely fine, and that's what I need to do. But I also want to start putting together plans for getting my life back on track for when I do go back to work in my normal day job, because there is that expectation of you wake up at a certain time and you're out of the door and you're doing work, or however that needs to look. I need to make sure that I feel less anxious when trying to plan and get that stuff together. If any of you have ever gone through this kind of thing, i.e. appendix, or even just any surgery or freak health scare, please drop a comment and just tell me how you got through your recovery, how you found your recovery. I'm finding recovery absolutely fine. I mean, it's uncomfortable, of course, but it's also I'm giving myself that time and making sure I'm looking after myself. I'm not rushing back in to do my rehearsals and music and drumming and that kind of thing that could cause an issue whilst I'm still recovering. But I would love to know some of your tips and tricks as to what helped you when you were in recovery, what made you feel a little bit better. And I'm also going to be making some videos on sharing some of that and talking about what things have actually helped me get my life back on track. When something like this happens, it blows you completely out of the water. So I'm wanting to get back on my feet, and I'm going to try and share that journey with you. Sorry this is such a short video. I just wanted to touch base with you all, make a quick video talking about what happened, and giving you a couple of the juicy details. So I will be back soon. I'm going to be planning my next video in the next couple of days, and then yeah, we should be kind of back to normal with the wellbeing stuff and the kind of vlogging, that kind of thing. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that was so amazing and supportive. Having never been in that environment before and sitting and just having constant messages of people like, love you, you're amazing, you're fine, I'm so glad you're okay, if there's anything you need. The amount of my friends that don't really live near to me, none of my friends really live near to me, no, you know, they're about 30 minutes away or give or take. There's people that don't even drive are messaging me going, I'll get a bus and I'll bring you whatever you need. Is there anything you want? Can we help you get any better? That kind of thing, guys, is it's just so moving, and I'm eternally grateful to my close friends for looking out for me. I'm gonna love you and leave you, but take it easy. I will be in recovery for the next couple of weeks, and I'll be making videos hopefully to document that. So I will see you later. Take care. God bless. Thanks for watching.